presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Fox Sports. We are San Diego.
Huge double play turn there by the Padres. Adam Rosales will sprint his way around the bases. Making 11 strikeouts for Edwin Jackson, who's pitched 7 shutout innings. Outstanding effort from the right-hander today. So it is going to come down to a Brandon Maurer, David Ortiz battle with 2 outs in the 9th inning. Big Poppy coming to the plate. Ortiz lifts a fly ball to center field. Playable for Jankowski. Makes the catch and the Padres win. And what a win it was yesterday, Labor Day. Such a success for the San Diego Padres as they take game 1 of the series. Hi again, everybody. I'm Don Orsillo along with Mark Grant. Welcome to Padres Baseball. Well, it's the middle game of the 3-game series, and for the Red Sox today, Clay Buchholz will be on the mound. He's a guy that has been in and out of the rotation.
An enigma for the Boston Red Sox. Rotation, bullpen, back to the rotation. And John Farrell says he's making some big-time adjustments. One is with the fastball out of the zone, but when you talk mechanically, he's predominantly working out of the stretch. He wants to simplify things, and you see the numbers. As a starter, not so good. As a reliever, so if you translate those numbers and then you're a starter, take each inning as if it's a relief role. That's the mindset of Clay Buchholz, and it's been paying off for the right-hander.
Big part of yesterday's win was Travis Jankowski back in the leadoff spot again tonight for the Padres.
You know it's something you can always bring to the ballpark? Speed. Travis Jankowski does just that. Back control plus speed equals base knocks, singles, infield hits, and you get into scoring position via the stolen base. Travis Jankowski's making his name around Major League Baseball as a rookie in the leadoff position, to where there's really not a lot of bona fide leadoff guys, but he's making a name for himself.
Big day yesterday for the Padres. It's certainly the bullpen, and right in the middle of it was Brad Hand. We'll talk about Brad Hand with Julie Alexandria when we come back to Petco Park after this.
Welcome back to Padres baseball. Padres and Red Sox about to get underway. Well, Brad Hand has been absolutely dominant so far. His 96 strikeouts on the season rank 4th amongst all Major League relievers, 2nd in the National League. And his ability to get that strikeout against some of the best hitters in the game has been clutch in those high leverage situations, including yesterday's strikeout of Xander Bogaerts with the tying run on 3rd. Andy Green praises his endurance and ability to bounce back, jokingly calling him an everyday player. Well, when we come back, Padres and Red Sox, Paul Clemens takes the onion for the Padres. Let's stop the Sox, shall we? When we return.
Fox Sports San Diego is presented by Padres Baseball, by Bank of America. Life's better when we're connected. By Petco, where the quality pets go. By Ford of Escondido, you won't believe how low the prices go. And by Kaiser Permanente, Thrive. Padres taking the field as led by Paul Clemens tonight as San Diego tries to make it 2 in a row over the Red Sox.
Well, after last night's ball game, Paul Clemens has a chance to see what these Red Sox hitters are all about when Edwin Jackson went a solid 7 innings. Gave up 4 hits, no runs, and he struck out 11.
Now, comfortable conditions again tonight, 72 degrees here at the ballpark for game 2 of the 3-game series. As we check out the Boston Red Sox starting 9 tonight. Dustin Pedroia leads it off at second base with Xander Bogaerts at shortstop batting second. Mookie Betts is in right field as he bats third with Hanley Ramirez at first base. Sandy Leon does the catching with Jackie Bradley Jr. in center batting out of the 6th spot. Chris Young is in left. Yohan Moncada is at third base, and Clay Buchholz batting out of the 9th spot. He is the pitcher for the Red Sox.
And the scouting report for Paul Clemens brought to you by Anderson Plumbing, Heating, and Air. Well, hopefully he can be economical with his pitches and get some quick outs and go deeper into the game. Has yet to go past 5 innings. Last time out in particular, 3 innings, 82 pitches for Paul. How about some quick outs tonight from the right-hander?
Well, the umpire crew tonight, Bill Miller, has the play call on the balls and strikes. He is the crew chief with Kerwin Danley at first base, Brian Knight at second base, and Tony Randazzo is the umpire at third. Some clouds in the sky here. Sun has set in San Diego. But very comfortable conditions as Dustin Pedroia stands in to get it started. And Hector Sanchez catching Paul Clemens. And the first pitch of the ball game, a curveball, and I'm sure we're going to see a lot of those tonight, Bud.
You very rarely see a first pitch of a ball game, a curveball, but you make a good point, Don. The curveball's been part of the success when Paul Clemens is on his game. Let's keep an eye out for that one tonight.
Now Pedroia had an 11-game hitting streak come to an end here yesterday. What has been a very good year for the veteran second baseman. As Edwin Jackson really outstanding yesterday. 11 strikeouts as part of the victory over the Red Sox in game 1 of the series.
He was really locked in early. After striking out Dustin Pedroia last night in the first inning to start the game, he found his groove. He was hitting his spots very nicely. 103 pitch effort for Edwin.
Drew Pomerantz, who pitched well, didn't get any run support here yesterday. In fact, the Red Sox have not to put together run support in either of their last 2 games. Dropping the finale of the series in Oakland before coming here to San Diego, and then the first game. Both 1-run losses. As Pedroia thought he had ball 4, but gets some bad news from home plate umpire Bill Miller. Full count.
Hey, pretty good pitch right on the outside corner. Boy, if Clemens can live out there tonight, he's going to have a good night in the big leagues. He brings back that 2-seamer, a nice frame by Hector Sanchez.
Center fielder Travis Jankowski over towards right center for Pedroia to go the other way. And Pedroia will go the other way to right. Arcia moving back with room. Puts it away for out number 1. We'll check out the Padres defensively, brought to you by your San Diego County Ford dealers. Left to right across the outfield, Alex Dickerson, Travis Jankowski, Oswaldo Arcia, and Yangervis Solarte at third. Luis Sardinez at short, Ryan Schimpf at second, Will Myers at first. And it's Hector Sanchez doing the catching for Paul Clemens. 1 out here in the Boston first. A good win yesterday for Andy Green's Padres.
It was playoff atmosphere last night there, big boy.
Very impressive here last night. Great crowd and very nice win for the Padres. Well, Xander Bogaerts hitting at .303 with 17 homers, 79 runs batted in. Another tight one yesterday for the Padres. That's the way it has been lately. Last 22 games, they've averaged 3.2 runs scored per game. So they needed good pitching. Got great pitching yesterday, not only from Edwin Jackson, but of course also the bullpen for Andy Green.
Yeah, absolutely. And when you're scoring very few runs, you need some good defense behind you too. So the defense has got to be on top of the game tonight as well. This is a Red Sox team that can bust out. But you know what, though? The Padres this year, they scored in the double digits as far as runs are concerned. So what's great about this game of baseball, you never know which team is going to show up.
Well, Clemens falling behind here 3-0, and that's ball 4. So Bogaerts down to first base with 1 down in the inning. So 1 out and 1 on, and here comes Mookie Betts. A terrific year for Betts at .317 with 30 home runs, 100 runs driven in. And tonight participating in his 135th game of the year. But it's from the stretch as Bogaerts gains a good sized lead at first, and there's strike 1. Certainly a key as we saw yesterday. Edwin Jackson was ahead of virtually everybody.
Yep.
And you got to be against this good hitting Boston team.
Into the double digits as far as being 0-2 for Edwin Jackson. So he got ahead quickly a lot yesterday afternoon.
And it's high up top to Betts, and it evens at 1-1. Evans has allowed 10 home runs in 45 2/3 innings, which is a tough number when you're thinking about the offense that he's dealing with here tonight.
The bottom line there, Don, on that graphic, they like to pitch him down and away. That's what Darren Balsley preaches. Fastballs knee high, down and away. And I remember back in the day asking Dusty Baker, he and I were teammates with the Giants back in 1984. I said, Dusty, because I wanted to learn, what's the toughest pitch to hit? I'm thinking, oh, the snapdragon curveball, the biting slider, the 99-mile-an-hour fastball. You know what he said? Fastball down and away at the knees. There's not much you can do with it. And he was a pretty darn good hitter in his day.
Popped up left side of the infield. Sardinez and Solarte. Solarte take charge and handle out number 2 of the inning. Let's take a look at the keys to the game, brought to you by your San Diego Honda dealers.
Hey, follow Edwin. Talking about Paul Clemens following the lead of Edwin Jackson. 7 innings, 4 hits, no runs. He struck out 11. And just pitched to the scouting report. And get Buchholz early. Talked about him. Rotation, bullpen, back to the rotation. Hopefully they can get him on the ropes early and score early and often.
Hanley Ramirez at 284, 20 home runs, 88 runs batted in. He is in the cleanup spot. And of course, this Red Sox lineup so used to having David Ortiz somewhere in the middle. But of course, in this National League venue, David Ortiz not likely to get a start at first base. He's only made one, and that was at Dodger Stadium. So coming off the bench as a pinch hitter, as he did yesterday. Final out of yesterday's game.
He's that one bullet in Barney Fife's pocket.
Exactly.
For John Farrell.
And he's got it sitting on his bench.
Yep.
And that is the case again here tonight. High fly ball, center field. Playable for Jankowski coming in. Hey, good first inning for Paul Clemens. Down to the Red Sox. Padres are coming up from Petco Park. To be checking out. Of course, the return of John Jay off the 60-day DL. Not in the lineup to begin the game tonight, but available for Andy Green, and we will see him in the near future. Clay Buchholz, as a starter, the number's not as good as when he comes out of the pen. 3-8 with a 5.63 earned run average. And Paul Clemens, good numbers in interleague, hoping to continue the same here against a good hitting Red Sox team. 2-0 with an ERA under 1. Clay Buchholz about to work to the Padres lineup. As it is brought to you by Toyota. Jankowski going to lead it off. Myers, Solarte, Dickerson, Schimpf, Sanchez, Arcia, Sardinez, and Clemens. And Jankowski, who bunted his way on twice yesterday with 2 bunt singles, takes a hack at the first pitch from Clay Buchholz.
You know what's impressive is when the opposition knows that you bunt a lot or try to bunt, and you still beat 2 of them out.
Yep. Dragged them both right side, and it worked out great.
Perfectly placed.
He's getting very good at it, and something really that, with his kind of speed, that he probably should do more of.
Yep, absolutely. With the way they play on the right side, if he can drag that towards him to first base like he did yesterday, that's a lot of infield hits.
He's got to bring it with him as he heads out of the box.
He's got 8 bunt hits this year.
We'll flip this to shallow right. Betts coming in without a problem for out number 1. Let's check out the Red Sox defensively. It is Chris Young in left field. He had the home run on his birthday here yesterday. Cut the lead in half late in the game. Jackie Bradley Jr. in center. Mookie Betts just made the play in right. Yoan Moncada at third base. Xander Bogaerts at short with Dustin Pedroia at second base. Hanley Ramirez at first and Sandy Leon doing the catching for Clay Buchholz. John Farrell's team starting the day, a game back of the Blue Jays in the American League East. As a grounder foul off the bat of Will Myers. Clay Buchholz working from the stretch, starting a game, and that's a new game plan for him.
Keeping it simple. Fewer moving parts. A lot of pitchers, they run into trouble. They think that maybe going from the windup, they have to think too much. So why not keep it simple? And he's taking each inning as if it's a relief appearance. And you know, that's a pretty good way to think.
Sounds like a broken bat. Pedroia running into the slide to make the grab on the little pop-up. For the second out here of the first inning. I guess that's it. If it works for you when you're coming out of the pen, why not take it into a start and see if you can continue to have the same kind of success? And he has had success, certainly recently starting. His last start, he beat the Tampa Bay Rays 2-1. He gave up 1 run in 6 1/3 innings.
I can't speak for Clay Buchholz, but I'll tell you what, I think going from the stretch enables a pitcher to really concentrate, staying over the rubber and not rushing. Because when sometimes guys go from the full windup, they start to rush their body too soon, and their arm doesn't catch up.
There's a chopper by Moncada and into left field. Solarte aboard with a 2-out base hit, taking it the other way.
There goes the no-hitter. Solarte breaks it up in the first. Well, that's what the Padres hitters need to do. It's a curveball. Backdoor variety. He stays on it and hits the top half of that baseball, working down on it, and the little chopper. Moncada off the bag a little bit there, sneaks by for the single.
So 2 down, Solarte at first, and it brings up Alex Dickerson. A couple of back-to-back lefties here for the Padres in the lineup. Clay Buchholz, a guy who has a no-hitter on his resume. He'll hit the Baltimore Orioles in his second career Major League start.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing, you think?
It's funny, I think if you were to talk to John Farrell about it, and I know you have, at the time, it was a great thing in his second Major League start. But it seemed to really set him back in his development because he went on to struggle for a long time after that until he figured it out, and it included going back to AAA Pawtucket to get it figured out. So you think you got it figured out after you throw a no-hitter, right? I mean, that early in your career.
And you would think that you would put pressure on yourself just maybe to try to do that each and every time out. And then before you know it, you're behind the 8 ball and you're all messed up.
There's never been any question about his stuff. As here's a grounder down the line. First fair ball. Heads down towards the right field corner. Solarte is headed for third. Ben's going to dig it out. They are going to stop Solarte. It's a double for Dickerson. And the Padres have something going here in the first inning with 2 outs. See if the Red Sox are going to challenge this foul call down the first base line. It was close.
Yeah, now remember, it's where the ball is touched. If it's before the bag, if it's touched in fair territory by... It looks like that was over the bag, huh? Boy, tough to tell.
John Farrell coming out to talk to home plate umpire and crew chief Bill Miller. And now, instead of a challenge, John is going to actually talk to Kerwin Danley. The days of these conversations have gone by the wayside, so this is a little unusual. John's just kind of questioning him right now as to whether it was fair or foul. And Kerwin Danley giving his what happened.
And it seems like from the hand movements of Kerwin Danley, it looks like he's trying to tell John Farrell that the ball hit his glove when it was over the bag right there. Now, where he touched it, it looks like he's directly over the bag. So if it's over the bag, that's a fair ball.
Right. Is that not challengeable? Is that why he's not challenging?
It is not challengeable.
So that's exactly why the conversation's taking place and there is no challenge. It has to get by the bag, I believe, for it to be challengeable.
You are correct, sir.
And they're saying the contact took place, as you said, over the bag. So the umpires got together. It is a double, and it's second and third with 2 down. 2 hits for the Padres, both coming here with 2 away, and it brings up Ryan Schimpf. Schimpf had yesterday off, back in the lineup tonight for San Diego. Well, a close pitch, called the ball. Buchholz certainly wanted it. Ryan Schimpf, who's had a very good year and a limited amount of time for the Padres. He's put together 16 home runs and 39 runs batted in for the rookie. Broken bat, pop-up. Well, got right in on him, and Pedroia will come in and put it away. So Buchholz works his way in and out of trouble. We're scoreless through 1.
A little bit of everything. I mean, we could sit here and talk for a while, but pretty much just getting my legs in shape, getting my body in shape, and the training staff. I mean, they did an unbelievable job between our trainers and our physical therapists with, just getting the work done every day, massages, and just a little bit of everything. The weight room, just, it was really like a 4-hour, 5-hour grind every single day, and then I just tried to keep doing other things to keep my mind sharp.
Welcome back, John Jay. The outfielder was officially reinstated off the 60-day disabled list today. He's available off the bench. Andy Green giving him a bit of a rest after he made 3 rehab starts with single-A Lake Elsinore. And guys, he comes back to a very new look, different look, Padres team since he was put on the disabled list back in June. You can imagine how much this team obviously has changed, and naturally his role has changed. Andy Green saying that he will, quote-unquote, bounce around the outfield, giving guys like Travis Jankowski and Alex Dickerson a night off here and there to rest them throughout the remainder of the season.
Yeah, Julie, no question, a much different-looking ball club right now. Of course, he was the everyday center fielder. He looked to his left, and in right field he had Matt Kemp there every day.
We'll talk about a kid who's got an opportunity and taken advantage at Travis Jankowski, the acquisition of Ozzie Arcia.
Sandy Leon leading it off here for Boston in the second inning. Leon, Bradley, and Young to face Paul Clemens. Walked a batter in the first, had 3 flyouts in the first inning, but relatively unproductive. First inning for the Red Sox, 16 pitches. Foul back and below us. Leon at .353 to start tonight. 7 homers, 29 runs batted in. Saw Holiday catch yesterday. Hannigan got in the game. Grounder into the shift, and it's Ryan Schimpf in short right. He's going to take care of Leon. So we're talking about plays that are eligible to be reviewed last inning, and the one that took place is not eligible to be reviewed. Here are the plays that are eligible for video review. And that's one that kind of just came into play moments ago in yellow, but there are several. and a few that are not, which is kind of interesting as to what you can and cannot do. But at this point, I think the managers have a pretty good feel as to what is and what is not. It's been in play long enough now. They've got their arms around it. As Jackie Bradley Jr. stands in and takes a pitch inside. 22 home runs on the year for Bradley, 77 runs batted in. Go along with Gold Glove caliber outfield defensive play for Jackie Bradley.
Can be a pest at the plate, on base percentage of .350, so you know he's going to give pitchers fits, can foul off some good pitches to work that count.
That's Bradley now, Young next. Yeah, trying to grab that outside corner, but it kind of ran away.
He's got such good movement on that two-seamer.
.30 pitch. And that's in there for a strike. Bradley taking a step back like he may be headed to first base, but that's a strike call from Bill Miller. There's Chris Young waiting on deck. Red Sox batting here in the top of the second inning. And that's outside. Second walk allowed by Clemens. And again, it comes with one out in the inning.
You know, sometimes I've noticed, and Darren Ballsy, the pitching coach for the Padres, always preaches to stay on top of the baseball. Sometimes Paul, the elbow drops a little bit, and he works underneath the baseball a little bit, and that's where you'll see the pitches that are up in the zone. That one looked like he did just that as you take a look at the pitch total. 26 total for Clemens.
Picks up a string of 3 in a row retired by Clemens and brings up Chris Young. Throw to first, and back to the bag is Bradley. Red Sox activating reliever Koji Uehara today from the DL. Been out since July the 20th with a strained pectoral muscle. Has a good curveball that time from Paul Clemens, drops in there for a strike.
Are we going to see an abundance, a plethora of curveballs?
I feel that way.
With Buchholz and Clemens on the hill?
Yes, both have very good curveballs, and in Clemens' case, it's his best pitch, right? And he's had the most success. Batting averages have been very down as far as against his breaking ball. And only grounded foul. 0-2. Brian Butterfield, third base coach.
One of the best right there. Good baseball man.
He's with John Farrell in Toronto first. Follow John Farrell to Boston. O2 will wait as they check at first base on Bradley.
Red Sox pretty much in the middle of the pack, about 6th, stolen base category. Jackie Bradley Jr. with 7 steals this year.
Not a huge part of their game, though,
No,
really, is it?
No. When they swing the bats like that, why take the bats out of their hands, right?
Throw over, that time looked like Bradley may have been leaning, kind of late to react. Juan Moncada, who had a tough day yesterday here. A tough time like a lot of the Red Sox did with Edwin Jackson.
Oh, he was dealing. He dealt.
Not a shift, but certainly the Red Sox playing Young to pull. Will shift around the bag at second, and it is down the line at third, a fair ball. That'll roll all the way to the corner. Dickerson going to get it. Bradley will go to third. It's a double for Young, and the Red Sox have runners at second and third with one away.
Well, sometimes that curveball is left middle in and up a little bit. That one's definitely up. Kind of tough to tell where it caught a lot of the plate. He pulls it, speeds up his bat. An effort by Solarte, but just out of the reach of the Padre third baseman.
I've been ahead 0-2.
And the higher the curveball, the less break. So just got to make sure you get that curveball down in the zone. Might have been a different story.
Well, second and third, one out. Yohan Moncada. Which was a tough day yesterday. 3 strikeouts. As he'll take strike one. Red Sox yesterday had their chances with runners in scoring position. They were 0 for 8. And in that category, 1 for their last 15. That dates back to the final game of that Oakland A's series.
Future big leaguer.
Drops down and in. I'm not sure of the numbers, but we are seeing more curveballs than I can remember from Clemens.
Absolutely. He's got a good one. Good rotation on it. You mentioned it earlier, the average against the curveball against Clemens works in his favor.
Working with Bradley at third, Young at second, 1 out. We're back and forth with Hector Sanchez as to what to throw. Didn't miss by a lot, but Clemens finds himself in the hole. Now deck the pitcher Clay Buchholz, and we kind of think about working around Moncada here to get to Buchholz in a double play type scenario, perhaps.
This lineup also can work some deep counts, huh?
Absolutely. See a lot of pitches, patient hitters. Fly ball foul down the left field line, out of play. But that's generally how the American League East really works. When you're talking about Toronto, you're talking about Baltimore, you're talking about Boston. Saw New York to a degree. They're now, certainly back to playing good baseball. Yankees really were not when they were here at Petco Park earlier this year. One of the best hitting coaches in all the game. Chili Davis talking it over with Mookie Betts right now.
That's a good switch hitting center fielder right there, Chili Davis. He can rake.
2-2 pitch, and Moncada takes it very close, full count. One thing you generally do not see from a younger hitter is patience. And Moncada displaying a little bit right there.
That's what John Farrell said about him. He mentioned all the tools, right? The running, the throwing, the hitting, and everything. But as far as discipline, he's got a little bit of that. He's sure he's got room to learn, but still pretty good at the plate.
3-2 pitch. And that's in there for strike 3. Dropped it in there in the breaking ball. First strikeout for Clemens. It's a huge out. It's out number 2.
Oh, he went back to the bread and butter, the curveball, and he got Moncada looking. Really good pitch. Here it is coming right at you. Try hitting that. Especially a full count. Dropping the deuce on him. Grab some pine.
And Clay Buchholz batting out of the 9th spot, the pitcher. 2 down. And he'll take strike 1. Fastball that time from Clemens. There's Jackie Bradley Jr. at third base. Chris Young at second base. 2 outs in the Boston second inning. That is strike 2. Outfield shallow, and for Buchholz to go the other way, a 182 hitter over the course of his career. 10th major league season.
Curveball right here.
That's what I would do.
Absolutely.
No 2 from Clemens. And Buchholz on a check swing on a pitch in the dirt. Really did not offer.
Nice block by Sanchez. You're anticipating it. You know you're throwing a curveball. Okay, now you break it down. Good job taking it right in the chest protector. Did he go? No, I don't think he went.
So a ball and 2 strikes with 2 down here in the second. And Buchholz strikes out Clemens. Back-to-back Ks to get out of a second and third jam. Scoreless after an inning and a half.
by Ram Trucks. We're going to talk about pitchers when they're sometimes wild in the zone. Check out Clay Buchholz. Fastball. Didn't get it out there enough. Oh, Albert Pujols. See you later at Fenway Park. Once again, how about with the fastball in, right? He wanted to get it way in, but it's catching too much of the zone. But when he gets to 2 strikes, what he has the ability to do is to go up and out of the zone and have guys fish for it for the strikeout against the Rays. This one up the ladder again. And remember, a lot of the strikeouts recently have been fastballs up out of the zone to the Padre hitters. So let's keep an eye on that tonight.
Well, here is the breakdown. The splits as a starter, splits as a reliever. The ERA at 3.57. The opponent batting average under 200. And again, until this year, he had been exclusively a starter over the course of his major league career.
And maybe working from the stretch has just done wonders, not only mechanically, but between the ears. Hey, if it feels right for you, stick to it, right?
Well, Hector Sanchez, between his time with the White Sox and the Padres, getting a start here tonight, catching Paul Clemens. Red Sox are shifting against him. Sanchez, Arcia, and Sardinez to bat in the inning. Beautiful night tonight in San Diego. The middle game of a 3-game series between the Padres and the Red Sox. Sanchez jumping back out of the way of that fastball inside. Relatively close to the plate is Sanchez. That last pitch was in. Normally not all that in.
Yeah, something in for a strike. He's really going to have to get those hands in and get that barrel on the inside part of the plate to square it up. John Jay, always talking baseball, huh, Don?
Always. Great to have him back active again. Well, it was a long time, a 60-day DL. Sanchez will strike out. First strikeout for Clay Buchholz of the night. 1 down here in the bottom of the 2nd inning.
Well, we talked about the curveball from Clay Buchholz. How about the cambio? That's the changeup. Down and away after pumping him in. Soft away. That's a good sequence.
1 down. Oswaldo Arcia coming up here for the Padres. Red Sox shifting again on the right side, identically the way they did to Sanchez.
All by himself over there at third base.
Moncada. On the ground, foul, and it evens at 1-1.
We talked about Clay Buchholz simplifying things. Well, look, he's a long strider, that's for sure. And let him get up on top. John Farrell said the release point, if he stays on top of the baseball, it really helps his cut fastball at times, his slider. Working underneath it, it's going to flatten out a little bit. That's been part of the success of Clay Buchholz as well.
Arcia waiting on a 1-1 pitch. And he grounds it. First base, Ramirez has got it, and he'll tag the bag. Hanley guarding the line. And Arcia retired for the 2nd out of the inning. And let me ask you this. I mean, as far as pitching coaches go, John Farrell, one of the game's best pitching coaches for a number of years. A couple of championship teams and a guy that is so successful doing that. Now you're a manager to got to worry about all 25 guys. But I always have felt like, being around John Farrell, that he still had his hand in it quite a bit. I guess you have to as a former successful pitching coach.
I think so, and I think Carl Willis is really cool with that. He's the pitching coach for the Red Sox. There's nothing wrong with having a tandem. I played for a guy by the name of Roger Craig, and Norm Sherry was his pitching coach. And I know that Roger and Norm were on the same page, exchanging notes, exchanging thoughts.
A number of years, Bud Black, the manager here.
Exactly.
How did that work?
Great. Darren Balsley worked very well with Bud Black. They always had discussions about certain guys.
Left field, Young on the move towards the lines, got a play, and he makes it. It's a 1-2-3 second for Clay Buchholz. 2 innings done tonight from San Diego without a score.
goes up there with a plan, and he implements a plan. And if you put one thought in his head, go the other way. He goes up there and he'll hit bullets the other way. So he's just a pure hitter. You know, he's a very good player. They call him my son, and, you know, I wish.
Oh, well, a hitting coach can dream, right? Chili tells me of the season that Mookie Betts is putting together when you take into account the 30 home runs, the 100 RBIs. He said he was so surprised because last year he had 18 home runs on the season. He said, well, maybe this year I'm expecting about 20 when he hit 30. He was so pleasantly surprised. He said the one point where Mookie sometimes runs into trouble is with uncertainty. He says he's a perfectionist and holds himself to such a high standard that he often has to remind his young right fielder, Mookie, you're better than you think you are. Sage words from a so-called dad.
Well, he has done a terrific job, has Chili Davis, with Mookie Betts as well. Julian, the guy that is an incredible athlete. And Mookie Betts came up as a second baseman, was playing second base at Double-A when he made the jump, and it looked like that was going to be his future. The need for him at the major league level was in the outfield. He made himself into an outstanding center fielder and then moved to right field. And right field at Fenway Park is not an easy place to play.
Not at all.
2-1 pitch fouled off.
And finally, a guy named Mookie that Boston Red Sox fans can root for.
Absolutely.
Not by the guy Mookie Wilson.
And this guy, that's right, after the Mets in '86. This is a guy that they root for. Californian in his own right. Dustin Pedroia, former MVP back in 2008. Well, you're always an MVP. You're not a former MVP. You are an MVP. AL Rookie of the year before. World champion twice with the Red Sox. And a ground ball base hit into right field.
You know, when I think of Dustin Pedroia, I think of him turning it in just a violent swing. But that's another swing and result I always think of the MVP. Swinging, yeah, getting on top of it and swinging hard and taking it the other way. Look at his eyes, look at his head, look at his body. His intent is to try to take it that way. And ladies and gentlemen, you'll win a lot of bar bets if you're with this guy and you say, hey, see that guy over there? He's an MVP. Oh, yeah, right.
Okay,
I'll
sure.
bet you a drink. You'll be
had
drinking
trouble
for free the rest of the night, right?
Colorado, he had trouble getting into the clubhouse.
Did he really?
As the pitch is high to Xander Bogaerts. He had hit 3 home runs the night before against Ubaldo Jimenez. And a guy would not let him in the clubhouse because he didn't think he was a player. He goes, why don't you go ask Ubaldo Jimenez who I am? 1-0, the count here to Xander Bogaerts, who walked in the first inning. There goes Pedroia. There's a fly ball to right. Garcia out there puts it away, and Pedroia back to first. Bogaerts retired.
I'm wondering if Oswaldo lost that ball at first.
Something happened.
Yeah, he kind of gave the hands to the side, kind of like.
It's not that time of night.
No,
really.
I know.
It's
That's maybe some fans behind the first base dugout off the bat. I don't know. You know, that's really weird. Or maybe he lost the bank of lights. See him go to his right, and then all of a sudden he's like, yeah, he took his eye off the ball a little bit, didn't he?
Now 1 down as Mookie Betts will take the strike. That's popped out to third base in the first inning, 0 for 1. That's with that slightly open stance from the right side. And under the watchful eyes of his hitting coach. Talk about Chili Davis and being a very good hitter in his own right.
Yeah.
A lot of times guys are unable to do that as we look at the hits by direction for Mookie Betts.
Yeah, he likes left field. He likes to pull the ball. Center field, usually a big part of the diamond as well. And right field, 36. The hits by Mookie Betts.
You know what I'm saying, though? A lot of guys who hit well have a tough time articulating how they did it or why they did it in some cases.
Chili's a good teacher. Don't you think?
Oh, there's no question. There goes Pedroia again. A little hit and run, and Betts fouls it off. Kind of the emergency swing with the hit and run in place, and Betts got a piece. Protecting Pedroia.
Chili, a career 274 hitter, at 350 home runs. Charles Theodore Davis.
How many years did he play? Long time, right?
Played a long time. First year in the big leagues was 1981, and he retired after the 1999 season with the Yankees. Switch hitting center fielder. Born in Kingston, Jamaica.
In the air to shallow left. Dickerson started back. Now he's got to race in, and he is not going to get there. Dickerson's first step was back, got fooled on the swing, and then could not recover coming in. And it's a base hit for Betts. Pedroia to second with one down.
Don, you nailed it. That's exactly what happened. I think he was fooled by the swing. Here's the breaking ball right now. Watch the swing. I mean, it's a big swing, right? He gets extended, but it's off the end of the bat. Now he's got all that room to catch up, try to make up, and just gets it on the short hop, keeps it in front of him. Now Pedroia, he's got to wait and see what happens. If that ball's caught, he's got to go back. Hits the ground, safe at second.
2 on, 1 away, and coming up here is Hanley Ramirez, a cleanup hitter for the Red Sox. Boston has had at least a base runner in every inning so far tonight.
You know, as an outfielder, you'd think, you know, Mookie Betts has 30 home runs, right? So, you know, off the bat, I think the initial reaction is, oh, that ball's going to be hit a long way.
Sure.
So he was kind of fooled by the swing.
Ramirez flied out to the center fielder, Travis Jankowski, in the first inning, 0 for 1. And that's a strike. Our Arco top-tier player profile revolves around Hanley Ramirez in his last 9 games. 14 hits, a 400 clip. OPS 1.247, and 4 home runs in those last 9 games, 11 ribbies. And in the cleanup spot, mentioning David Ortiz, of course, in a National League ballpark, on the bench as a pinch hitter. And that'll miss inside. The numbers for Chili Davis in his career, as you said, span from 81 to 99.
Now there's a guy, Mark Sweeney talks about guys slowing the game down.
Yep.
Chili was calm, cool, collected. The type of player he was.
As a defender in center field, or you talking about everything? All aspects.
Everything. Yep.
Ramirez with a big cut there.
Hey, Chili broke the bat over his knee before Bo Jackson did. Take a look at the hammer, working very well for Paul Clemens.
It was there, then it wasn't.
Nose to toes. Way out in front.
Chris Young now talking it over with Chili Davis. Interesting how some guys like to talk in between at bats and some guys don't. There's a grounder to third base on the backhand. Solarte tags third, cross the diamond to first. Double play. Out of the jam again is Clemens. 2.5 done without a score. Moments in Padres history brought to you by Geico. September 6, 1912. In a game which purposely matches the superstars. Boston hurler Smokey Joe Wood. The Senators legend Walter Johnson 1-0 for his 30th, 14th consecutive victory in a season in which he would win 34. Red Sox only run as a result of back-to-back doubles by Tris Speaker and Duffy Lewis. First two baggers should have been an easy flyout, but the ball lands into an area cordoned off by a rope to section off the overflow at Fenway Park's crowd back then. They didn't have the all the way around fence thing. You had people out there and a rope.
I love old school baseball.
Pretty cool.
Back in the old days, when a ball bounced over, it was counted as a home run.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know it.
It was like pre-1900.
That's probably why I didn't know it. That's a long time ago. As we've learned, it is not a ground rule double.
Yeah, it's a rule book double or automatic double.
Automatic double, but it is not a ground rule double.
Correct.
I've learned so much from you, Mudley, in such a short period of time.
There's this thing called a rule book.
I know.
If you crack it open once in a while.
It's really hard reading. It's not fun. Hold off to the right.
It isn't, but the more you get familiar with the rules, I love the rule book. I love, and I've said this before, there's like 2 or 3 times during the offseason where I'll force myself. I'll just sit in my office and read the rule book for like 2 hours. It's cool to know the rules.
Here's a ground ball to third, and Moncada to his left. We'll take care of Clemens for the first out here in the third inning. One of the earlier giveaways this year, one of the best giveaways this year. And Caminiti night. Buchholz dealing with left-handed batters, which he's about to, and Travis Jankowski.
Yeah, so the batter's over here, right? So that means that down, and obviously down the middle of the plate, but he tries to bust them in and up. 174, 182. They can't get extended. We saw that to Sanchez, and then he finished him off with a changeup down and away.
Well, David Ortiz with a big at bat yesterday. Flied out to end the ball game, but again available on the bench today for John Farrell as that pinch hitting role.
And just a little to elaborate on that graphic we saw, all told lefties are hitting .305.
A few of those hats hanging around here at the stadium.
Oh, you think?
Tap foul, and Jankowski is down 1-2. Buchholz type of guy you got to get to early, and the Padres had the chance to get to him. Second and third, 2 down in the first. And he's able to get Ryan Schiff to pop out since then. That is now 5 in a row retired by Buchholz, who is now in a groove.
That was one of my keys of the game. Get to Buchholz early. Yep.
One-two pitch is outside and high.
Through the lineup, we talk about it quite a bit, and that's where he finds a groove. Second and third time around.
Comfortable. Gets comfortable. Back towards the mound softly. Buchholz will fire just in time to get Jankowski. A big moment in yesterday's game, no doubt. Brandon Maurer coming in and shutting down David Ortiz.
This was great. Power hitting left-hander against a right-hander who throws 95 to 98. He's just challenging him. What is he doing, though? He's trying to keep the fastball away, giving him left field, giving him left center, and ultimately he pops up to center. That was a great moment. And, you know, it was a great moment for everybody in the ballpark. The anticipation, John Farrell set it up perfectly. To have Ortiz come up with that tying run on first, and he would be the go-ahead run. And it worked for the good guys. Nice pitching by Brandon Maurer.
Talk about high leverage. That was it right there. Ortiz on the bench tonight. And, well, in the times that Ortiz had played at first base over the years, pretty good. You know, no glaring errors that I can remember over the years in watching him play there. And, of course, had to play there in World Series play. And, again, he is the only member of the Red Sox to have appeared in all 3 World Championships in the last 12 years. Other way, and Myers got himself a base hit. First hit for the Padres since the first inning. It's a 2-out opposite field hit for Will Myers.
Like Buchholz wanted to go down and away with a breaking ball, a cutter or a slider. And Will Myers got that big wingspan. Check out the wingspan. This ball is down, it's off the plate, and just off the end of the bat for a safety to right.
I was wondering how many at-bats Myers had against Buchholz in the past. Of course, Myers with Tampa Bay. Not that many. He was 0 for 3 coming into tonight's game against Buchholz. But a base hit here. Now a pitch down and into Yangervis Solarte. Got a base hit back in the first inning. We see David Price in the finale of this series matched up against Jared Cozart here tomorrow night. A 6:10 start time in the finale of the series. A big pickup for the Red Sox in the offseason. A 14-game winner so far this year. Into left field, and Solarte is 2 for 2. Myers will take second. And the Padres have something going with 2 down here in the inning. Second time they've done this.
Well, timing is everything for Yangervis Solarte. Second time to where he's going to go the opposite way. So watch when the foot is down. I've always felt like when the foot is down there, the hands are going to be back at a point where I think the furthest to where they can come through and attack the baseball. The foot is down, the hands are back. Now they start. The knob starts to come forward, and the barrel of the bat staying in that hitting zone for a long time, and he drives it the opposite way.
Throw the knob.
That's what Tony Gwynn said. Knob of the bat to the baseball, and the barrel will follow.
Well, check swing by Dickerson. They checked with Rendazzo, and he said he went.
Throw the knob, and the bat will follow. Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love it when you sing. Really good.
Yeah, go a little En Vogue with you there.
Oh, one pitch is
90s.
inside. Is that what you did? That was In Vogue?
Yeah.
It was really good.
Thank you.
Yeah. Did you get those glasses done too, or no? Is that around the time you
No,
got the
these
glasses?
are real. You're just jealous.
Yeah. Speaking of glasses.
Yeah. Portland Sea Dog fan.
Yes, indeed. Double-A locale for the Red Sox. Oh, 2 outs. Myers single to right. Solarte single to left. Oh, a foul fly off to the left out of play.
See all 3 pitches there, trying to bury the fastball into the lefties. He did it to Sanchez his first at bat, and he's trying to do it here to Alex Dickerson.
Ahead of him here, 1 and 2. Going to talk it over.
And in the first inning, he really jammed Ryan Schimpf with runners at second and third to pop up to Pedroia. He is not afraid to throw that fastball in.
Ryan Schimpf waiting on deck, hoping to get a chance. There are 2 outs in the inning. Outfield straight away on Dickerson. They've been working him in. And trying to get the high strike, didn't get it, but again in. Not letting him extend those arms. Myers at second, Solarte at first. Scoreless game in the third. Dickerson with a swing and a foul tip into the catcher's mitt for strike 3. Big strikeout for Buchholz through 3. No score from San Diego. fourth inning. Mission Fed donated over $25,000 to Girl Scouts earlier today. Provided tickets for tonight's game to representatives from Girl Scouts. Mission Fed donates around $1.5 million a year to local charities. And enjoying the ball game tonight as we move along here to the top of the fourth inning. And it's Sandy Leon who takes a pitch outside. Leon, Bradley, and Young to bat in the fourth inning. Another good crowd on hand here tonight. In game 2 of the series. And our good friend Mark Sweeney is now alongside.
How we doing, guys?
Doing well. How you doing?
How you doing? You never hear that, right?
What's up, Mark Sweeney?
How are you?
I'm doing well.
Okay.
Really good.
Beautiful.
Yeah, what's with that?
Nice combo.
Yeah.
Blue memo.
Yep.
Red.
Got it.
Red.
Weird
Socks.
glasses, too. 1-1 and a bunt bid with a shift on is going to be dropped perfectly down the third base line. Leon got himself a base hit. Came in with a .353 average.
Hey, you know what? With the way he is swinging the bat, good thing, bad thing. I mean, sure, it's a single. You keep the double play in order, possibly. I know Jackie Bradley Jr. is coming up, but with the way he's swinging the bat, maybe he hits a double, maybe it's a home run.
Well, I look at it this way.
You give it to him?
Yeah, early in the game, I like it. Late in the game, if you're swinging the bat, you're up there to swing it.
Swinging it is Bradley Jr.
It does change the shift in the mindset of what you have to do because it's in your mind. And obviously, the defenders have to be much more aware of that.
The last 5 games for Bradley, hot again. He's gone through some of these streaky parts of the year. Breaking ball didn't break much right there for Clemens.
You know, earlier in the year when Jackie Bradley Jr. was going and doing so well, that leg kick was just in sync. It was almost like the David Ortiz clone when it came down to it. But you're seeing him modify it a little bit the second half. You're wondering if that bat has slowed down a little bit. He's trying to get that timing mechanism.
He's an all-star here at Petco Park, along with many of the Red Sox. As Darren Balsley all of a sudden hops out of the dugout, heads out to talk to Paul Clemens.
Well, maybe, you know, when a guy has a 2-1 count, the pitching coach comes out, maybe he noticed something mechanically. Remember earlier I mentioned him kind of dropping the elbow a little bit. It kind of works underneath the fastball a little bit. Sometimes pitchers need just a little friendly reminder. Plus to give him a little bit of a blow as well. Next pitch will be number 61 for Paul Clemens.
3+ innings so far for Clemens, that pitch total.
Well, Jackie Bradley Jr. has grounded into 8 double plays this year. Kind of tough to double up. Maybe hard hitting at somebody, possibly into the shift.
And he drives it to right field, deep, far, and that ball is gone. 2-run home run for Jackie Bradley Jr., his 23rd of the year, and the Red Sox jump on top 2-0.
Well, when the count is 2-1 and you throw a fastball that's up elevated to Jackie Bradley Jr., you are flirting with disaster. 2-1 fastball not located.
Well, Chris Young, who homered in yesterday's game, picked up his 7th of the year, doing it on his birthday. Jackie Bradley Jr. has put the Red Sox on top 2-0. Now this is driven well to left. Dickerson going back, and that's going to be gone. Right off the short fencing and out of the yard. Back to back with the Red Sox in the 4th inning. First Bradley, now Young, and Boston leads it 3-0.
We saw Chris Young yesterday come off the bench with a home run, and obviously he is familiar because he's been in this division. But he attacks the fastball just like Jackie Bradley Jr. did.
Oh, once again, falling behind 1-0, and watch the glove. You know, it's down, but it leaks towards the heart of the plate. He just drops that head, and this ball skims off the top of the wall and over.
So 3-0 Boston. This has happened quickly as Moncada will foul it off outside of first.
Well, it's been the kryptonite for Paul Clemens, the home run. Prior to this game, 10 home runs in 45 2/3.
It is the 5th time this year the Red Sox have gone back-to-back in home runs.
Well, Don, you've seen Moncada, and he has struggled with the breaking ball. Obviously, first pitch fastball, backs that up with a curveball. See if they try to expand the zone even further.
Yeah, appeared to be exposed yesterday by Edwin Jackson. No doubt, had a tough day yesterday. After getting a couple of hits in his first couple games in the major leagues, when the Red Sox playing the Oakland A's for their arrival here.
Hey, let's face it, and Mark, I think you'll agree that the guy loves the fastball. That's why he's in the big leagues. He's talented, sure, but he's going to hit a fastball. Can he adjust to the breaking ball? Not so much, especially down and in.
Strikes out there. Second time that he's down by way of the K. That is 3 strikeouts on the night for Clemens. First out here in the 4th inning. They had the bunt base hit by Sandy Leon that got it started. Jackie Bradley Jr.'s 2-run home run. Red Sox go back-to-back. Chris Young, solo shot to left. 1 out, and here's the Red Sox pitcher, Clay Buchholz. He struck out swinging in the 2nd inning. Buchholz, who's had several injuries over the years, and some of them have included interleague play. Had a bad hamstring pull that he had running the bases, AT&T Park in San Francisco a few years back. Set him back for a while. That is the thing you'd have to deal with as an American League team coming to the National League ballparks. Pitcher's not used to hitting and certainly not used to running the bases.
Oh, yeah. And you know, you get that competitive juices flowing. You hit a ball. You want to run hard, and those short spurts you're not really used to, and bang, next thing you know, bang. Pop the rubber band.
The reason Clay Buchholz is starting tonight's game is because Stephen Wright was on the bases, and he was diving back to the bag at first, injured his shoulder, and unable to go. Of course, he was here for the All-Star game at Petco Park and having a great year. As Buchholz is going to earn a walk on 4 pitches from Paul Clemens. 3rd walk given up by Clemens.
Stephen Wright was used up in the Dodgers series and used as a pinch runner. Something you definitely don't want to do as Darren Balsley gets on the phone and talking to the bullpen.
Might be seeing a specialist in LA regarding the sore shoulder. Not sure if he'll be able to return this season. As Pedroia will take a pitch down and in.
I think if you ask some people in the Red Sox organization, they would say he was their best pitcher first half. Obviously the All-Star, but the knuckleballer was a good surprise for the Boston Red Sox. So you wonder if that's going to affect them in their pitching staff moving forward. Now these are instant takes for Dustin Pedroia. You've actually seen him just step out and see Stephen Wright. You got to prove that you're going to be able to throw strikes.
Yep.
And obviously Paul Clemens doesn't feel comfortable on the mound right now.
I saw Carlos Villanueva warming in the pen. First action we have seen for either side out there in the pens. As Clemens has run into trouble here in the 4th inning. Second time through this Red Sox order, not as kind. Foul back, 2-2.
It's an interesting approach for Dustin Pedroia. We all know how good he is as a player, and especially as the Red Sox. But you see him, he takes first pitches a lot, gets deeper in the counts, but he has an aggressive approach. He continues to be aggressive, even after taking a strike.
On the ground back to the mound, Clemens will try to start it to second for 1, on to first for 2. The double play ends it, but back-to-back home runs give the Red Sox a 3-0 lead. See Dansby Swanson, the rookie for the Atlanta Braves, didn't have a home run yet. Well, now he does, but it's an inside the park home run against the Nationals tonight. It's a nice way to get your first Major League home run, coming all the way around for Dansby Swanson.
That's a Little League home run.
Right there.
Call your grandfather.
Right?
Yes.
That is pretty cool, though. Going down on your bio in the media guide, first Major League home run inside the park home run.
Hey, look at the NL East scenario. The Nationals were on the other end of that inside the park home run. 8.5 game lead over the Mets. I'd say it's comfortable. Ryan Schimpf trying to get some back here for the Padres. The last of the 4th inning. Schimpf popped out to the second baseman, Dustin Pedroia. His counterpart at second. Schimpf had yesterday off, back in the lineup tonight. In the air to right field. Back goes Mookie Betts. Spins at the track, at the wall, leaps, and it is gone. Home run for Ryan Schimpf. His 17th round tripper of the year. And the Padres answer with a home run of their own. Mookie Betts out there trying to time the leap.
Well, the foot is down, and Mark Sweeney, where are the hands?
Yeah, the hands are back, and for Ryan Schimpf, getting 1-0 and looking for his pitch. And you see it elevated, driving that ball, and it's an uppercut swing. He induces fly balls, but he has a lot of power, a lot of backspin to go along with that. Number 17 for Ryan Schimpf, and the hit speed, 100 miles an hour.
Now Hector Sanchez, as the Red Sox are shifting on the right side for the Padres catcher. Strike call, generous call.
You know, guys, we've seen Ryan Schimpf, and as we take a look at him after the home run, but you've seen a lot of teams pound him in, but he has to go to his strength, and his strength is out over the plate. He's able to drive the ball, obviously, on the pull side, but we've seen him go the opposite way as well.
Now into the shift, into the backhand goes Pedroia. He's got a long throw, but he won't have a problem with Sanchez running. That is the first out of the 4th inning. So the shift worked out great that time for the Red Sox, not so much for the Padres. 1 down.
Well, I always look at a pitcher after giving up a leadoff home run in an inning and see how they rebound. You got to eliminate that. erase it from the hard drive. Still has a 2-run lead. Ball was hit hard though, but like you said, Shift played perfectly.
Oswaldo Arcia grounded out to Hanley Ramirez at first base in the second inning. Getting his second look at Clay Buchholz. That'll drop in there for a strike, and it's even at 1-1. The Red Sox getting 3 in the top of the 4th inning. Padres answering so far with a run here in the bottom of the 4th inning against Clay Buchholz. Jump it back out of the way is Arcia. Arcia so far with the Padres, 2 home runs. Both coming at Turner Field as part of the last road trip. He'll pop it up down the right field line, shallow. Over comes Betts, and he'll get there. Joy was going out as part of the shift. Betts coming in, running on a slant towards the line. And there are 2 outs here in the 4th inning.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the San Diego Padres and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. The accounts and description of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Don Orsillo, Mark Sweeney, and the San Diego Padres.
That was brilliant.
Really good. Really good. I have to ask you a question.
Yes.
I've been looking at these glasses all season long, and I really need to know this. Are they prescriptive glasses? Do they actually work, or are they just for show?
No,
is
they're
Sarah back up the middle into center field, and a 2-out base hit here for Luis Sardinez. I just saw you and it hit me that I needed to ask you that. I've been meaning to ask you.
That's a fair question.
Sure.
Someone says Piano Man.
I have to wear glasses at night because it sharpens the image, but they're bifocals. And I went with the old school. See where you can see the lines?
Oh yeah.
I went old school. So when you look, when you're looking out there, and then you look down at your scorecard, you don't move your head, you just move your eyes.
New school rims.
Really good.
See, I can read the scorecard, but yet I can see.
All at the same time. And something at night, you said something.
Yeah, sorry about looking smart.
Are you saying you don't like them?
No, I like them. It's a very interesting look. I mean, it looks good on you.
It's great.
It really does. It looks
a little
good
stuffed up there, Fatty?
I am, yes. I am. Did you just call me Fatty? I am a little stuffy.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah.
In both places.
Yeah. Very stuffy. So 2 down. It all started in Atlanta. My allergies were bad there, and it's just kind of gotten worse. I really thought that those were just glasses that you wore.
I thought you meant the fat
for
stuff.
show.
The fat stuff started in Atlanta?
No, the fat stuff started years ago. I've been fat for a while. It's in there for a strike.
Are you talking allergies?
Yeah, no, the allergies started in Atlanta.
Started the day we went fishing.
Yes, in Miami. And the fatness, I would say, somewhere in my early 30s started to pour in.
Poor.
Never gets old.
A pop-up. Here is Hanley Ramirez, and that's going to end the inning. A home run for Ryan Schimpf to begin the inning as the Padres on the board. It's 3-1 Boston. 1 lead over the Padres as Ryan Schimpf gets the Padres on the board with a home run to right field. And for Ryan Schimpf, his 17th home run of the year. So it's on to inning number 5. Back out there is Paul Clemens. Total of 76 pitches in his outing through the first 4 innings.
Quick inning here, throw up a bagel, get right back in there, go to hacking.
A tough part of the order, 2, 3, and 4 that he's got to deal with. And Xander Bogaerts, Mookie Betts, and Hanley Ramirez.
Mud, I wanted to ask you a question about Paul Clemens in between pitches. How do you keep him from slowing down too much?
Yeah,
because there's a balance, isn't there?
There is. There's a balance between taking a guy out of his routine or game, and there's a fine line between a pitching coach probably saying, hey, let's pick it up a little bit. I've always been a firm believer, get that rock, I mean, not run back to the mound, but get it to where you can get in a groove. It'll help your defense. We talk about that all the time. But when you slow it down and kind of take your time a little bit, I would think it kind of falls out of your rhythm.
Yeah, and it benefits the hitters too. If you're out of the box, you're calming yourself down. You benefit from a guy working slowly.
More time to feel comfortable in the batter's box just because you're there longer.
Yeah, you're collecting your thoughts. You slow the game down as much as you can, and with a guy that takes the ball, and Mark Burley comes to mind,
yes,
who pitches very quickly, it's uncomfortable. So there is a balance to it, but I wonder if that's a stamina issue or that's a rhythm issue for a pitcher.
I think it's a rhythm issue.
Soft grounder. It's going to kick foul. Make sure Sanchez got a hand on it. And Bogaerts will have to come on back.
You know, I remember as a kid, this is one of the first things I learned, is that if it's a ball like that, as soon as you see that ball go foul, kick it, touch it, so it doesn't have a chance to come back. Okay, he's waiting, foul territory, and touch it, it's a foul ball. I mean, even if he touches it back into fair territory, it's a foul ball because he touched it in foul territory.
Bogaerts to left and a base hit. So he goes to the curveball there. Bogaerts drives it into left. Let's check in with Julie.
Hey guys, well, Mookie Betts, professional baseball player and also avid bowler. He bowled competitively throughout high school and then had the chance last year to compete in the World Series of bowling. Now, his mom was his little league instructor and also got him into bowling because she was an avid bowler. So I have a question for Mark Sweeney here as a hitter. Is there a correlation between the hands, if you're a bowler, and also the hands in your approach to the plate?
Well, Julie, I think that's one of my problems because I was not very proficient with a bowling ball in my hands. Earl Anthony was one of my favorites, but if you think about it, I couldn't do it. Yes, it probably helps because the strong wrists, strong hands, you got to have that.
Yeah.
I didn't have that wrist guard that felt comfortable.
Oh, yeah.
And what is it, the 5-7 split or whatever it is?
7-10 split.
7-10 split, that's it.
To right field and a base hit for Betts. Stopping at second is Bogaerts, and he'll get back. A little overzealous and coming around the bag at second base, but was able to get back. And the first two have reached here for the Red Sox in the 5th.
Well, we heard Chili Davis talk about it, and when he asks him to go the other way, he can do it. You see the head, it's locked in when his foot is down, but watch how his hands work inside the baseball. Getting that barrel to the baseball and perfectly timed. You're not seeing his vision down on the barrel, but he knows where the location of that pitch is and the level swing going through and that solid line drive to right. Talented young man. He's only going to get better.
2 on, nobody out. And Hanley Ramirez coming up. Cleanup hitter has been contained tonight so far for Andy Green. Right out to center, grounded into a 5-3 double play. Did you ever do the candle pins?
Oh yeah, that's when we.
Yeah,
that was huge down there. Plus, you didn't have to wait for your own ball.
Right. Big cut. The helmet comes off. Action is now Jose Dominguez in the Padres pen. Had been Carlos Villanueva an inning ago.
Now this is getting on top of the curveball, and look, it starts on the lower side and ends up on the lower side. The higher the breaking ball, it's not going to break as much, but you keep that down, you'll get that good tilt, and we saw it on that last pitch.
Line drive, base hit for Ramirez. Bogart's being waved around. Dickerson's throw is going to be cut off, and the Red Sox have a 4-1 lead. Hanley Ramirez driving in Boston's 4th run.
Oh, a hanging breaking ball. We just got that saying about the lower the breaking ball, the more it'll break, but this one is left up. 0-1. And Mark Sweeney, the higher the breaking ball, I mean, it's coming right into your eyes.
Yeah, it's so easy to track. If you're a hitter, you track it down, but Hanley Ramirez is one of those hitters that will sit on pitches, especially after that first breaking ball. He gets another one, and this is a mistake by Paul Clemens, but not a mistake by Hanley Ramirez.
Now Andy Green pops out of the dugout as Leon was about to bat, but Green headed out. He's had Jose Dominguez warming in the pen, and Clemens giving up 3 runs in the 4th. So far, a run here in the 5th. And so far, a discussion. Waiting on Bill Miller, the home plate umpire. As he started out, I think Andy made the move, and he did. So that will be the night for Paul Clemens. He leads with 2 men on, and the Red Sox on top 4-1. Of the top of the 5th inning. 4-1. Red Sox have the lead over the Padres. And the pitching change coming here with 2 on and nobody out. It was brought to you by El Cajon Ford, and into the game is Jose Dominguez.
Well, his main job is to stop the bleeding here for the right-hander. 26th game. You see the splits there. Higher on the righties with a .250 average and 3 home runs. Last time out was in Los Angeles. That was on Saturday. Pitched an inning, walked a Dodger, and also struck out a Dodger. He's inherited 13 runners, only 1 has scored.
We see Hanley Ramirez. That hit with runners in scoring position broke a really tough trend for the Red Sox. Obviously a great offense. 1 for 18 with runners in scoring position these last 2 days.
First and second, nobody out, and Sandy Leon backs out now as it is Betts at second, Ramirez at first, a run in. And a pitch high. Leon has grounded out to second base at a bunt single. He has been good in this spot. 348 with runners in scoring position. Paul Clemens responsible for the 2 men on, and so far charged with 4 runs on the night, allowing 2 home runs. To right Arcia coming in to make the catch on the broken bat liner. And Betts going to take off third base. The throw in that direction will not be in time. Just trying to catch the Padres napping there as Arcia got it back in, and Betts showing off some good aggressive base running and gets to third base.
Well, that'll drive a manager crazy. The reason why I see Leon with his bat just get absolutely shattered off the end of the bat. And Arcia catches this easily coming in. But as an outfielder, you got to get the ball into the infield immediately.
Fire it into the cutoff, man. You bet. To second base, right, Mark?
Yeah, and you got to throw it in second, and Mookie Betts with that plus speed will take advantage of that play.
Well, you're right about driving managers nuts.
So first and third with one out. Jackie Bradley Jr., who homered his last time up. Take a look at ball one.
There's certain conversations that you can have. You can always instruct at this level, but you also have to do the fundamentals at this level. Especially with one out, and that's a chance you can take when you have a 4-1 lead.
In the dirt, taking off for second is Hanley Ramirez. Should get there without a problem.
You think about that play from Mookie Betts, and easily stealing second base is Hanley Ramirez. Not even worried about him. See the ball in the dirt? Hanley Ramirez is easily into second base. They weren't even going to throw it, even if it was a good pitch.
So now two in scoring position for the Red Sox with one out in the inning. In the dirt and scooped by Sanchez. 3-0. Evans, who had 4+, giving him 9 hits, so far charged with 4 runs. Walked 3, struck out 3. And now they will put him on with first base open.
You know, it's kind of ironic, this situation, because one of the points I talked with John Farrell, the manager of the Red Sox, before the game was just this. He says, you know, things we really do well, first and third, hitting situations, first and second, second, third. But for the life of us, bases loaded, we're hitting like 220, he said. Well, in all actuality, 223 for the Red Sox. So this isn't really a situation where they've thrived this year. They're 27 for 121 with the bases loaded. Hopefully Jose Dominguez can make a good pitch here.
Swing and a miss for strike one. Goes to the fastball at 95. And 2 for 2 already in the game tonight. A double in the second inning. Home run in the fourth. As he and Jackie Bradley Jr. went back to back.
What, do you get crossed up?
Well, here's Chris Young, and you can see that down and in. Home run yesterday as a pinch hitter, coming off a double in his first appearance, and then the home run. The former Arizona Diamondback.
And he got crossed up this last pitch, guys, because after that pitch, Hector Sanchez went out and had a chat with him with that runner on second base. Breaking ball, he was anticipating the fastball, looked like, and he's lucky he kept it in front of him. That's great reaction by Hector.
Bases filled with Red Sox as Young will take it in the dirt, and again Sanchez blocking it. Here are the numbers you were talking about, Mark. 223 average. All the runs they've scored, all the power this offense has had. 27th in the majors in that category. Think about if they had a higher average in that area. In the dirt again. 3-1. That's Ramirez Bradley on the bases for the Red Sox. 1 out here in the 5th.
Now, this is a situation as a pitcher you cannot afford to nitpick. You got to trust your stuff, not give too much credit to these hitters, and try to pound the zone in a good area where your scouting report tells you to pitch these guys.
Yeah, dead red if you're Chris Young.
And a ground ball sharply up to third. Solarte will go to second for 1 on to first. It is not in time. 1 score. Betts will get in from third base with the 5th Red Sox run. Mark McGuire will check it out. He'll get the word from the clubhouse.
Looked like Solarte took a little bit of time because that ball came into that right leg, getting it out of his glove. Here's another look at the play, and Chris Young looked like he just got in there.
So Hanley Ramirez taking third base. Reaching at first base is Chris Young. Reaching on the fielder's choice to pick up an RBI, 2nd of the game. And there is Moncada.
Well, Dominguez hasn't shown a good breaking ball tonight, but he's going to have to do that to get Moncada.
And there for strike 1, starts him with a fastball. Yeah, most of the breaking balls have been in the dirt so far for Jose Dominguez.
That might be the only fastball he throws him right here. You make a good point, Mark. Down and in with the breaking ball has been giving Moncada fits. Ooh, fastball in, you better get it in there. He wants it up as well.
And 3 strikeouts yesterday for Moncada, going 0 for 3. 2 strikeouts today, going 0 for 2 so far.
Well, had some success in his first series in Oakland, but showing some weaknesses here in San Diego.
That's a strike, and it's 1 and 2. Well, Clemens is charged with another run. Still responsible for Hanley Ramirez, who is at third base, been charged with 5 so far. First and third with 2 away. In the dirt, and again, Sanchez sliding to his right.
You know, call me crazy, but that last, I'm just glad they didn't call a balk on that. Did you see how he kind of quick set on that and then started? He kind of came down, kind of quick and then go. Maybe I'm a little
crazy,
froggy right there, crazy. But it did look like, it wouldn't surprise me. See if he sets a little longer here.
Swing and a miss. Fastball gets Moncada. Strikes out for the 3rd time, and the Red Sox tack on 2 more. Take a 5-1 lead. Fox Sports San Diego presents Padres Baseball, brought to you by Sequan Casino. Sign up for the new Padres Club Card today. By SeaWorld, enter tonight's keyword Sea Lion on the Ways to Win page at foxsportssandiego.com. And by Mercury Insurance, we're on a mission to save you money. Log on to mercuryinsurance.com today. Ryan Schimpf has homered in this game for the Padres, but it has been the only bright spot to this point, as the Padres now trail 5-1, and Travis Jankowski fouls it off to the left out of play. And Clay Buchholz now has a 4-run lead to work with. Top of the Padres order: Jankowski, Myers, and Solarte expected in the inning.
Travis Jankowski likes to go the opposite way. That has been very evident since he's been at the big league level, get that opportunity in the leadoff spot.
Rounds it up the middle, ranging is Bogarts. In time to get Jankowski.
Yeah, granted, sometimes the big breaking ball speeds up his bat and he'll start to pull that baseball. But, Mark, scouting report, hard fastballs, right? Hard fastballs away. Tough to pull.
Well, they see those hits by direction, and it's really hard at times. You saw Derek Jeter do that for years, be able to handle that ball inside out. But that's very difficult. It takes a lot of time to hone that craft. But Travis Jankowski's been doing a really nice job going the other way.
One out, and Will Myers ducking for cover on that breaking ball. Didn't get a real good read on it. He's looking to get out of there. Almost a strike.
I was just going to say, yeah.
To center, and Bradley Jr. backpedaling. 2 down here in the 5th. It's time now for the Quicken Loans Rockets arms. Let's take a look at them. Red Sox 1,132. No strikeouts by pitchers. The Yankees on top. So 2 down in the inning, and it brings up Yangervis Solarte.
Hey, breaking out the changeup, huh? We know about the fastball and curveball, and Buchholz, he threw a nice changeup earlier in the game to Hector Sanchez to strike him out to lead off that 2nd inning.
That'll drop in for strike 2, 0-2. Solarte 2 for 2 in the game, single to left in the 1st, single to left in the 3rd.
See the speed range on the heater, 96, 74 on the change. Curveball as well, probably in the 70s.
Swinging a foul tip, Solarte strikes out. Second 1-2 inning of the night for Buchholz, 5-1 Boston. The Red Sox are in a dogfight in the American League East, and a couple of teams in the American League East going head-to-head, and the Blue Jays trying to come from behind do not, thanks to Brett Gardner's catch at the fence. Timed his leap, and it almost came out of that big outfield mitt. But he holds on to it, and the Yankees hold on to a 7-6 win.
Yankees win! Yankees win! Yankees win!
Take it easy, John Sterling.
Oh my God.
How long have you been wanting to do that?
I don't know, but hopefully he doesn't do it again. Almost got knocked out of here.
I know. Especially when he starts gyrating and all his stuff starts going in one direction. Taking it back the other way.
What are you saying?
Here is Buchholz, who leads it off. Analyst camp in Palm Springs, right around the corner.
Can't wait. Oh, look what the cat just dragged in the booth. Mike Pomeranz joining us finally during the season.
Swing. Foul tip, 0-2. Here's the American League East standings. Red Sox can get back in a tie for the top of the win here tonight.
And they visit Toronto right after this series.
How big is that series at this time of year?
That's going to go down. Those top 4 teams, man. Yankees 4.5.
Well, they're making it very interesting. Selling off a lot of their pieces, especially their bullpen.
That's the thing that surprised. It doesn't surprise me, but when you deal, was it 2/3 of the
Two of the three?
Yep. The no runs DMC.
Oldest Chapman went, and of course Andrew Miller went. The only remaining part of the big three was Dellin Betances.
Not a bad 3 to have at the start of the year. Did not work, but it's working now. The baby Bombers.
That's strike 3, and Buchholz strikes out to begin the 6th inning. Dominguez, who finished the 5th, starts the 6th, and starts with a strikeout of Clay Buchholz. Time for the Cholula flamethrower.
Oh, Mark Sweeney, what do we got? 97 with Jose Dominguez? What's that?
It's your home guy, so that's hot sauce. Caliente. 97. Moncada didn't like that 97 in the last inning. Either did Clay Buchholz.
A 1 for 3 night tonight for Pedroia, who singled back in the 3rd inning. Otherwise, he's flied to right, grounded into a double play.
Now you see the cutting action on that pitch. Coming right into your living room.
The strike picks up the outside corner.
Cameraman Dave Doherty doing a great job down there behind home plate. There's Dave. Give us a wave, Dave.
He can. He's getting the shot.
Okay, give us a smile.
He's been trained not to. Yeah. Swing and a miss.
That's gas.
Pedroia chases. That's 3 strikeouts in a row for Jose Dominguez.
Hey, that's 97 octane, and that's at least 435 a gallon. Going up and out of the zone as well. Love the Phantom Cam.
Two down here in the 6th inning for Xander Bogaerts. Walked in the 1st, flied out to right in the 3rd, singled to left in the 5th inning. And he'll take strike 1.
Got a good feel for that cutter.
That's a good change of pace, especially when you have 97 miles an hour. Get a lot of hitters to cheat on that fastball. You throw that cutter for a strike.
Popped up foul off to the right, out of play. Bogaerts taking inventory of the bat, make sure he didn't fracture it. Jose Dominguez coming right at you with an 0-2 pitch. And that's strike 3. He has struck out 4 in a row in this inning. It's Buchholz, Pedroia, and Bogaerts all down by way of the K. Now for Harrah's game summary. As going back to back with the Red Sox in the 4th inning. First Jackie Bradley Jr. and then Chris Young would go back to back. Padres on the board though, coming back on a home run by Ryan Schimpf. The Red Sox would tack on 2 more in the 5th and have a 5-1 lead into the bottom of the 6th inning. It's Alex Dickerson, Ryan Schimpf, and Hector Sanchez to bat in the inning. Dickerson jumping ahead here 2-0. Grounded foul just behind the Padres dugout.
Well, it seems like the common thread for Buchholz is those pitches inside, trying to tie up those left-handers. Oh, that's nice. Give a baseball to a fan. Leonel Campos heating up for the Padres.
Just the first 3-ball count of the night for Clay Buchholz. And it's fouled back, full count.
Every dose of those pitches in to Alex Dickerson. Doesn't mean you have to look for it until you get 2 strikes. Then you have to expand your strike zone.
Does he throw the cambio here? He's got so many avenues to go to, right?
They still pound him in.
And a fly ball in the infield as Xander Bogaerts will look out. Not the infield's going to get out to the outfield, and Bradley's out there to make the catch. I was watching Xander Bogaerts. You see Xander? He deked me. Time now for Bill Howe play of the game. And Schimpf with a home run off Clay Buchholz. This one will get up off the top of the fence and out of the yard.
One of the few pitches that he made a mistake with to a left-handed hitter, as Mark Sweeney mentioned earlier on that. He got extended, hitting the home run, tried to bury it in. That's where the glove of Leon was. Leaked over the heart of the plate.
One down, Ryan Schimpf, the batter. Off balance cut on the changeup. All right, here's my deke. Look at this. So I'm thinking this is going to be a pop-up. Watch Xander Bogaerts.
Right there?
Yeah.
I'll say
he's just looking at it. I'm looking at him, and then all of a sudden it's out in center field.
All right.
Thank you very much, production crew, for backing me up.
He just got better backspin.
I really appreciate that. That was looking pretty bad. Here's a fly ball to right. Betts going back. He'll have room, and he'll make the catch for out number 2. You could have helped me too, bud, but you chose not to. It's okay.
How could I have helped you?
You could have said something like I was deked too.
I was deked, actually.
Yeah.
I was watching Xander as well.
It's all good. It's fine.
You should have your partner help you out.
You think so? Be a teammate.
Yeah.
You'd be a teammate.
Be a good
it's
teammate.
like we're in a clubhouse.
Obviously,
it's
you're
all on me.
Obviously, you're a
I'm rooting for the Red
tonight.
Sox tonight.
He's a big Red Sox fan.
Wow.
Save it.
He spent the entire series so far in John Farrell's office.
Yeah.
I mean, it's been unbelievable.
He's
like
you haven't been
Red
down there
Sox.
either.
I was down there, but I noticed you were there before I was there every day I got there.
Well, one of the reasons it kind of inflates my ego a little bit when I go down to visit John, because he's an easy audience, isn't he?
Very much so.
I mean, you could say a very silly joke or just say something, a one-liner, and he just laughs.
thinks you're funny, which is what.
Really?
Yes.
So does Chili Davis, by the way.
I mean,
He thinks you're really funny.
they think you're funny.
What, like a clown? I amuse them?
Well, it's like in small doses. I think you're funny.
They said red nose.
There's Johnny.
Like if I go a week and I see you like once, you are funny. But then like every other day, it's like Sanchez with a swing and a miss, and that is going to end the inning. Thankfully, this conversation. Hey, it's 5-1 Red Sox. Coverage of baseball brought to you by T-Mobile. Well, Giancarlo Stanton reinstated from the DL. That pitch hit single, only at bat against the Phillies. And Brian Dozier.
What's up with him?
Unbelievable. Had 3 yesterday. 39th home run of the season. 9 home runs in his last 8 games. And now 2 home runs off the Major League lead. Manny Machado 3 for 6 grand slam, all part of an 11-2 Orioles win against Tampa Bay.
Those 38 home runs by Dozier, the most by a Twins player since Hall of Famer Harmon Killebrew hit 41 in 1970. 39th tonight.
Lionel Campos into the game now to his 12th appearance.
Well, the one thing here, you just got to throw up zeros at this point. We mentioned the offense of the Red Sox, and I'll tell you what, Jose Dominguez really pitched well. Bottom of the order, and then the top 2 hitters going down by way of the K.
Oh.
Which you like to say, which I think is very, very cool.
Thank you. Lionel Campos, get your own stuff as Mookie Betts stands in and takes a pitch outside.
Was that like a subliminal?
Yeah, did I say it out loud?
Yeah.
Just came out. Well, Betts popped out to third base, single to left in the 3rd, single to right in the 5th. They scored a run.
Oh, how cute.
High strike call, and it's 2-1. So Clemens on the hook tonight for the Padres. Went 4+, 9 hits, 5 runs, walked 3, struck out 3. Dominguez came in, worked 2 innings as it worked out. No hits, no runs, a walk, and 4 Ks. Struck out the last 4 Red Sox that he faced before departing. Campos falling behind 3-1. Finale tomorrow of this 3-game series between the Padres and the Red Sox. David Price, Jared Kozart on the mound here. He's 6:10 start time. On the ground to short. Sardinez. Good throw. First down of the 7th inning. Time now for Tough Shed. And tomorrow's starters. Jared Kozart be on the mound for the Padres against David Price. Get it all started at 5:30, starting with Padres Live. Price is 14-8 with a 3.92. Jared Kozart so far in a Padres uniform 0-2 with a 5.14 earned run average.
And Jared Kozart has allowed 1 earned run or fewer in 4 of his 6 starts as a Padre.
Hanley Ramirez, the batter, and jumps back out of the way of a pitch at bet back in. And we'll look at the starters tomorrow. In the finale, the Red Sox will finish up and they will head east. They'll have an off day on Thursday and then begin the weekend series against Toronto. Head-to-head, the American League East, while the Padres will remain home and welcome the Colorado Rockies in for 4 games. 2-0 to Hanley Ramirez with 1 out here in the 7th inning.
Guy brought his camera to catch some action and his glove to possibly get a big league baseball going home. Smart guy.
Broken bat. Ball ends up at the mound, and Campos will underhand to first. Barrel out at third base. Beyond it. 2 down.
Follow Padres Baseball Live with the MLB.com at-bat app. Stay up for a moment at any moment with game day, live game video highlights, StatCast news, and more. Download MLB.com at-bat, the #1 app for live baseball on your phone, tablet.
Two outs in the 7th inning, and brings up Sandy Leon.
That's the 6th broken bat tonight. Both sides. Pitchers getting in the kitchen and off the end of the bat. Price of lumber is skyrocketing.
Sandy Leon, a bunt single in the 4th inning. A 1-for-3 night. The catcher for the Red Sox.
Heavy on the right side.
How do you know when you're going to number stuff instead of circle stuff? When do you make that decision when looking at a shift?
It's less work because I don't have to draw, and the numbers are nice, clean, and crisp. And it shows you that there are 3 on the right side.
I just wondered how you did that, your thought process.
Yeah, I can do it a number of ways.
That is ball 3, 3-0.
I could go animated circle.
Oh. Wow.
But see, it kind of covers up at first and whatever. I could go 1, 2, 3 and then animated circle.
A lot of options at your disposal. I never realized how much stuff you got in your bag of tricks over there.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. That's
ball 4 and down to first base. Leon heads down to first base. A 2-out walk. Sandy Leon with a tip of the cap to Lionel Campos. And a return tip of the cap.
And after the tip of cap, it's game on.
Well, from Venezuela, 2 down here in the inning. Leon at first. Held on over there by Myers. And a pitch down and in. Jackie Bradley Jr. has walked, homered, and walked again. That's a strike, a ball, and a strike. Tonight's attendance 30,000. 664 for game 2 of the series. 30,664. A game left to play in the series. One pitch. 2-1. The last 5 games that the Red Sox have lost have been decided by 1 run. It's some close contests. That was certainly the case in the loss. 1-0 in Oakland on Sunday, 2-1 here in San Diego on Monday. Well, put together some runs tonight. On top right now, 5-1, and looking for more. They'll be looking to get some runs tomorrow for David Price.
Yeah, and it's a team that can bust out at any time. We've known that, so a rarity when they only score 2 or 3 runs in a 2 or 3 game span. But like John Farrell said, the starters the last 6 weeks have been really pitching well, keeping them in ball games. If you're not going to produce, you need those starters to go out there and give you 6 or 7.
Full count. Slider that time from Campos. Campos was able to get Betts to ground out to short. Ramirez to the mound. Walks Sandy Leon, and now a full count to Jackie Bradley Jr. So Leon at first base can get a start. And a swing and a miss on a pitch in the dirt. Sanchez going to throw out Bradley, and he does to end the inning. 7th inning stretch from San Diego. 5-1 Red Sox. Go presents Padres Baseball, brought to you by Rancho Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram. No one saves you more than Rancho Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram. By Petco, where the healthy pets go. And by your San Diego County Lexus dealers. Clay Buchholz pitching into the 7th inning tonight for the Red Sox. Enjoys a 5-1 lead. And a first pitch strike over to Oswaldo Arcia. 0 for 2 is grounded out to first and flied out to right. It's now 7 in a row retired by Clay Buchholz.
Look for the pitches in this at bat. First pitch was away. Oh, now he's going a changeup down and down and away. Mixing it up a little bit to Arcia.
Five runs, 9 hits, no errors for the Red Sox. A run, 6 hits. No errors for the Padres. And a pitch, it's going to run outside. Not afraid to double up on the changeup either.
No, I see no problem with that. You know, you can double up on the fastball, right? Why not double up on the breaking ball or the changeup?
On the ground, shifting, and that'll get through. Base hit for Oswaldo Arcia. First hit for the Padres since the 4th inning, and it leads off the bottom of the 7th.
He tripled up on the changeup.
In the shift, the third baseman made some contact there,
and then Pedroia had to redirect.
Yes, change direction on him. Couldn't get it, and Arcia's got a base hit, breaks up a string of 7 in a row retired by Buchholz, and that'll bring up Luis Sardinez.
Change up.
John Jay has come out on deck. He's going to get his first at bat out of the way after being activated off the 60-day DL. 1-0. That's ball 2, 2-0. Well, Padres need some base runners here.
A couple of bloops, maybe a blast. The Red Sox bullpen is a 3.88 ERA on the season. Kind of the middle of the pack.
And lately not particularly good.
No.
Little grounder right side, and Pedroia lays it out, can't get it. Heading for third is Arcia, going to test the arm of Betts, but it's cut off. And it's first and third for San Diego with nobody out.
Well, the Padres are the best team in Major League Baseball of taking that extra base. First to third, second to home. And right here, this ball hits softly out of the reach of Pedroia. You know he's going to lay out, and Arcia sees that. He is off and running, picking up Glenn Hoffman. He doesn't have blazing speed, but because the ball's not hit that hard, he doesn't break stride. He gets the green light. First and third action.
Carl Willis coming out. Pitching coach for the Red Sox.
Carl Willis been around a long time.
Yes, he has.
Very well respected pitching coach.
Was the pitching coach in Seattle and in Cleveland, both times under Eric Wedge. He was the manager in both locations.
I think I just saw Clay Buchholz say to him, "What you talking about, Willis?"
I don't think I saw that.
I think that's what he said.
First and third with nobody out. John Jay reinstated from the 60-day DL. Went on the DL June the 28th. Retroactive to the 20th. The right forearm fracture. And his first at bat since after a very brief rehab. Jay turns on this and fouls it off. Wow. Out ahead.
Welcome back, John Jay. He got to that ball quickly. Look at him get the hands through and the angle of the bat way out in front.
Elevates. Chases after that, down 0-2. Double-barreled action. Abad and Barnes both up right now for Boston. And Buchholz to this point running into some trouble here in the 7th with nobody out, 1st and 3rd. Limited number of at-bats during that rehab, really, for Jay. You got to wonder about his timing at the plate right now.
Absolutely, yeah.
Don't have a lot of minor league venues to go to at this point, now that it is September. Swing and a miss. Fastball up, he chased, and he's out number 1. Strikeout number 5 for Clay Buchholz on the night.
And it looked to me it was a heavy dose of fastballs from Clay Buchholz. So let's go back to the first. Remember the one he pulled up. Keep an eye on the location of this at bat. That one, you know, I take that back. That was a changeup. Fastball up, backing him up a little bit, and then up the ladder again with the old number 1. So 3 fastballs, 1 changeup in that sequence.
1st and 3rd, 1 down. Travis Jankowski. In at 3rd is Moncada. And that's strike 1. Curveball that time from Clay Buchholz.
There's Moncada at 3rd base in on the grass. Still with Hanley Ramirez at 1st base. You can drag one that way if you like, but cutting down the angle at 3rd, and we know that Jankowski likes to go that way. Maybe get some up and take it that way.
It's been quiet so far tonight. He's flied out to right and grounded out twice. After 2 bunt singles in yesterday's game. Trying to get the rally going here. Padres trailing by 4. And a foul off to the left. Box score for the Padres tonight. Sardinez and Solarte both with 2 hits in the game. One of the 8 put together tonight by San Diego. High for ball 2. Pitch count right now at 86 pitches for Buchholz. Has been fairly economical throughout the night here, running into some trouble for the first time in the 7th inning, really. Five strikeouts, no walks on the night. And a swing and a miss, kind of tied him up inside. That's 6 strikeouts now, back-to-back Ks for Clay Buchholz.
Really good cut fastball in on the hands of Travis Jankowski. Number 6. Get it out in front. See the rotation. Little cut inside, and Travis tries to bring the hands in to make contact. At least fouled off to get another chance. And then he gets the strikeout.
John Farrell going to make the change here with 2 outs in the 7th inning. His starter Clay Buchholz gives him 6 2/3 and leads with a 5-1 lead.
Getting a chance to start a few, you know, try to feel like an everyday player. You want to be the middle of that lineup. You want to be the guy that's producing every day. And I've gotten comfortable with the fact that I'm now in that position to where I'm getting the opportunity to play every day and just do what I've been doing. And that's just a comfort level thing. It's not trying to make it bigger than it has to be. It's the same game I've been playing for, you know, 20 years at this point, and it's just on a bigger stage, but the goal remains the same. You're just trying to do what you can to win.
Oh, you're not going to want to miss this one. Tonight on Fox Sports San Diego, Mike Pomerantz goes one-on-one with the kid from Poway. Him, Alex Dickerson, on an all-new SD Live. Tonight, after Padres Live, right here on Fox Sports San Diego.
Matt Barnes into his 53rd game of the year.
Matt Barnes, 4-pitch pitcher, fastball, curveball, changeup, slider. He's got a good arm, up to 99. He averages about 97. A little cut, a little sink here and there.
Well, Will Myers coming up here in a big spot, first and third, 2 down. Padres at first and third, nobody out. Well, Buchholz battles back, strikes out John Jay, Travis Jankowski. Now Matt Barnes into the game. And the curveball starts him off for strike 1.
Throws a little bit across his body as well, so kind of tough for right-handers at times. Got to keep that front shoulder in there. And there's tonight's numbers for Will Myers.
Stranded 31 of 40 inherited runners this year. Has inherited 2 runners here in this situation. That's a ball and a strike now to Myers. He's got a base hit, single to right in the 3rd inning. Runner goes at first as Myers fouls it back and to the right. Getting a jump was Luis Sardinha.
Looked like a pitch was up. Was that a hit and run maybe? Pitch was up and out of the zone. I mean, it was a 1-1 count. I don't think, you know, I'm betting that it wouldn't be, because that kind of puts Will Myers on the defensive, right?
I would agree.
You want him to take a hack that's going to make a difference. So, you know, I don't think it looked like a hit and run, but I don't think it was a hit and run. Just because the pitch was up and out of the zone.
Sardinia's never looked back. A lot of times you see runners do that, see what's going on. Make sure there's contact. 1-2 pitch. And time called very late, so Barnes just follows through. Oh, very late. Two down, first and third for San Diego. Padres trailing by 4 runs. Runner goes again. Myers swings again and fouls it off to the right out of play. Fastball at 98 that time for Matt Barnes. Marcy at third base. Sardinia's at first. He has been running. Count of 1-2. And a swing and a miss as Myers goes chasing. Leone will throw him out at first base, and that will end the inning. Ends up striking out the side to the Red Sox. Combination of 2 pitchers.
5-1 Boston lead right now. Top of the 8th inning. Mark and I are working on Padres Live, the postgame show, which will be brought to you by Cox Communication. Manny Machado, a grand slam, the 3rd time he's done that this season.
Mike, scoreboard watching. Toronto lost, and then you get the grand slam by Manny Machado. They are still involved with it because of their offense. Their starting pitching has not been good.
When Mark and I see you in a post-game show, we're going to go all around the American League East. We'll check out some of the other highlights and let you know exactly which team needs what to get themselves to the postseason. Plus, we're going to hear from Andy Green. All that and more coming up after the final out. Let's get you back up now to Don Orsillo and Mark Grant.
All right, Mike and Mark, thanks very much. We look forward to that as we play along here to the 8th inning, and the Padres will employ their 4th pitcher of the game. Keith Hessler now in.
Well, bottom of the order for Boston, 7, 8, 9, the pitcher spot, and 10th game for Keith Hessler. A chance for him to maybe help his numbers a little bit. Boy, the walks are really hurting him this year, combined with Arizona and San Diego. 11 free passes in 13 innings.
Chris Young leads it off, and he'll take a look at strike one. Well, the Orioles making a charge here after a tough time for a little while. All of a sudden, they're putting together some very good baseball again and making the American League East a real battle. Mention the Red Sox after the game tomorrow night will be headed to Toronto. Young, Moncada, and the pitcher spot scheduled to bat in the inning. Ball 2, 2-1. Young tonight doubled in the 2nd inning, homered in the 4th inning. Ran it into a fielder's choice. The home run, he is 8th in a Red Sox uniform. And one of 2 home runs for the Red Sox tonight as Boston went back-to-back in the 4th inning. Well, Hessler has fallen behind 3-1.
Wow.
That is a good-looking lid.
What in the Huggy Bear is going on right there?
Wow. That one's fouled back to the screen.
I will have to admit, that is a hat I don't own.
You don't have that?
I'm a big fan of hats.
How many hats do you think you have?
I got about 40.
And you don't have that.
Now that I'll wear. I love that lid. The old bucket hat,
that's
floppy lid. Looks like
your,
Carl Reiner.
That's your go-to pretty much, your hat there. 3-2. And that's strike 3. This pitch from Keith Hessler froze Chris Young for the first out of the 8th inning.
A good comeback by Keith Hessler with the breaking ball after falling behind 3-1. The old spinner.
9 strikeouts tonight for Padres pitchers. 1 out here in the 8th inning. Juan Moncada coming up. He has struck out 3 times tonight after striking out 3 times yesterday. Wow. Take strike 1, high strike. So yes, 3 strikeouts yesterday, 3 strikeouts today. That would equal 6 strikeouts.
6 strikeouts.
Are you following me?
I am.
Yeah.
I'm hoping for number 7 right here.
Outside, 1-1.
Favorite Boston movie?
I'm going to say The Town because I was in it.
You were in The Town as well?
I was in The Town with Blake Lively, John Hamm. Both close friends of mine. Not really. I was in the movie, but I don't know either one of them. 1-1 pitch is high.
Was it your voice or did they show you?
It was my voice.
Okay.
John Hamm's at the bar with Blake Lively. And before they're talking, they shoot up to the screen and Kevin Youkilis gets a base hit and I make the call. And there you have it, my 3rd film.
I wanted my favorite is The Town as well, and I'll tell you what, I horse laughed at one line in the movie and I had people looking back. Seriously, people in the theater, I was horse laughing so loudly, and I'll tell you why. People were actually turning around in their seats looking at me. Why?
It's not the first time.
And I'll tell you the line, and you'll get it.
That's strike 3, and there are 2 outs. Moncada struck out the 7th time in this series.
This is a breaking ball, and once again, Moncada goes down looking. Remember the scene when they were hauling the money at Fenway Park from the vault into the truck?
Yes.
Ben Affleck, the line he said was, the last guy to rip off the Sox like this was Jack Clark. And I came out of my seat horse laughing because everybody's like, first of all, who's Jack Clark?
Right.
And I remember the contract he signed with the Red Sox.
Yes.
And he just, people were just wearing him out because he wasn't producing. I thought it was the greatest line in the movie.
So where did you see this movie? Out here?
In a theater.
Here, California?
I couldn't tell you where I saw it. I can't remember.
Well, 1 pitch in the air down the right field line out of play.
I thought the line was brilliant.
It's a great movie.
I had to clean it up a little bit, though.
Yeah, there was more.
Yeah.
Aaron Hill, who got into last night's game, pitch hits here in the pitcher's spot, and he'll pop it up. Back goes Myers, and can't make the catch. And it is a foul ball.
Hey, good job by first base umpire Kerwin Downley. He was all over it. The ball was touched in foul territory. He says he's got it. Oh.
John Farrell not going to challenge anything, and that is a play that he could have challenged. So another chance here for Aaron Hill with 2 outs. On the ground instead. We were playing for him to pull anyway, and Sardinez throws it across. 1-2-3-8, then a 5-1 Boston lead. Go heading to the bottom of the 8th inning, 5-1. The Red Sox have the lead. This rooftop shot is brought to you by Pinnacle on the Park. A good crowd on hand tonight, 30,664 for Game 2 of the series. Padres with work to do, trailing by 4 runs. The Solarte, Dickerson, and Schimpf have a double switch. Fernando Abad now comes into the game for the Red Sox.
Well, once again, you look at the innings, and what, like Don was saying, the bullpen really not doing as well lately. The walks coming to hurt him, and Abad, 21 walks in 45 innings. The strikeouts are there. Boy, lefties You would think that he would get some lefties out, but yeah, he is getting lefties out, 149, but righties, 283.
Takes over for Matt Barnes, who faced one hitter, so a third of an inning and struck out that hitter. That was Will Myers to end the seventh, leaving 2 men on. Play Buchholz, pitcher of record tonight, 6 2/3. Solarte takes strike one. Hammer says single to left twice, once in the first, then in the third, then struck out swinging in the fifth. Finds himself down 0-2. Bob last worked on Saturday night, part of a win against the Oakland A's, pitching a perfect 8th inning. Only threw 5 pitches to get through it. Back to 5 of his last 6 appearances have been scoreless. Oh, 2, and that's outside. Acquired with a trade from Minnesota August the 1st, sending right-handed pitcher Pat Light to the Twins. Bod's been used a ton. He's appeared in 183 games since the start of 2014. That is the 3rd most among all American League left-handers.
Can you say rubber arm?
He's got it. John Farrell's got him in this game to pitch the 8th, and a very bad swing from Solarte. Badly fooled, and it's out number 1 of the 8th.
Well, Abad's got the fastball, curveball, changeup. He can get up to mid-90s on the fastball.
I mentioned earlier that the Red Sox activated Koji Uehara as the closer of the 2013 World Champion Red Sox. Not the closer anymore, but I hope he'll help to shore up the pen. A little dribbler right in front of the home plate area, and Leon throws out Dickerson. 2-3 on the putout, 2 down in the 8th. A lot of games for Abad over the last 7 seasons.
Boy, to be left-handed, right? Correct, I should say.
Right and correct. 2 outs, 5 in a row, retire. Looking for a rally. See if Ryan Schimpf can get it started. Schimpf has popped out to second, hit his 17th home run of the year. That was in the 4th inning. And has flied to right. Takes a look at strike 1. Both teams have left 7 men on base tonight, but it is the Red Sox on top 5-1. Maybe a little earlier tomorrow night, 6:10 start time. Out ahead of this.
Wow.
Foul up into the second deck.
If you drew a line on contact and where that ball landed, that's over the Padres dugout. That's out in front of a pitch, big time. And this guy's bringing it. He's bringing home that baseball, I'll tell you that.
In the air to left center field, it's Bradley, and it'll be Jackie Bradley Jr. makes the catch and ends the inning. Hit for the 9th, it's 5-1 Boston. Carl's Jr. star of the game, and it's a couple of stars. Jackie Bradley Jr. with a 2-run home run. The time for the Red Sox on top, 2-0. And following it up is Chris Young. Home run number 2 of the series as the Red Sox go back-to-back. Part of a 3-run 4th inning.
This is a team, we mentioned it yesterday in the first game, they don't miss many mistakes. There's a reason why they're first in average, first in runs, first in hits, first in total bases, RBI. So, hey, Edwin Jackson, yeah, he was lights out last night. And there's their souvenir checklist regarding Dustin Pedroia. Looks like they're 2/3 of the way there.
Well, Pedroia tonight 1 for 4, single to right field, back in the 3rd inning. What a foul down the right field line out of play. Pedroia has been leading off. Over the course of his career for the Red Sox, he has batted all over this order. 3rd, 4th, very good numbers as a cleanup hitter in the Red Sox order. He's down 0-2.
One thing I've noticed in the short 2 games, Pedroia, he'll chase that high fastball.
He can get on top of it too, which
yes,
is amazing. I mean, for a guy his size, you're kind of surprised by how high he can get up there.
He can, and it's got to be that perfect 1 pitch because he has such good command of the strike zone. It's got to be up just enough.
On the ground is short. Sardinia's with the backhand's got a long throw and keeping his foot on the bat. No. Powers did not, and sliding in head first is Pedroia. He could smell a hit. It's his 2nd of the night.
Just gets underneath us when it airmails a little bit. Now, I got a question. Should that be a hit or an error?
That is a good question. I mean,
you know what my feeling is right
now? Good throw gets it.
Right. That's.
But it's a long throw. They give him a base hit.
My judgment is I think that's got to be an error.
Pedroia for now getting credit for a hit. 2nd of the night, and Xander Bogaerts getting his 5th plate appearance of the night. We want Poppy chant going up. They've not seen David Ortiz tonight. Not had a pinch hitting role as he did yesterday. In the first game of the series, he flied out to end the ball game yesterday. And of course, his 2nd trip to Petco Park this year, here for the All-Star game. What a moment that was when he came out of the game and the American Leaguers saluted him in what is his final season. Bogaerts a lifted foul off to the right out of play. Dave Dombrowski, first full season as the president of baseball operations for the Red Sox, bringing in David Price, Greg Kimbrell, another trade that he made early in the offseason. 2-1 in the air to shallow left as Dickerson's coming in. That's out number 1 of the 9th inning. Bring up Mookie Betts. Mookie Betts has already had a 2-hit night, single to left, single to right. Marks his 58th multi-hit game. Leads Major League Baseball in that category. That's with 1 out, Pedroia at first base.
You know, when I look at Mookie Betts and the numbers that he's put up, he's got to have, and we don't see him every day. I know you saw him a lot, but when you look at his physique, right, he's got to be so mechanically sound, I think, to put that kind of punch into a swing. Because when you look at him, How many people would look at him without knowing and say, hey, this guy's got 30 home runs plus, he's driving in over 100.
Yeah, I would agree. Line caught. Solartail trying to turn it into 2, but Pedroia's back to the bag. Hot shot, and Pedroia may have jammed his finger diving back into the bag. A number of finger problems over the years.
Coming in hot. No hesitation, and not close at first base.
So he's trying to shake it off. Crowd wants Ortiz. They're going to get Ramirez instead.
I mean, looking at Mookie Betts to seal that deal, 5'9", 180 in the media guide. And once again, Pedroia same way, right?
Absolutely.
But the home runs he hits and the runs he, I mean, he's got a violent swing. Good bat control a lot of the times, majority, hitting the ball in the sweet spot, doing some damage. But they can be pitched to.
Our game tonight presented in HD by Sony. It's a 5-1 Red Sox lead as they bat in the 9th inning. And 2 outs, Pedroia with a short lead at first base. A spectator tonight is Big Papi. Started only 1 game at first base. That was in a Dodgers series earlier at Dodger Stadium. Down and in, and it's 3-1. Fly ball out to right center field. Jankowski makes the catch out there that ends the top of the 9th inning. We head to the bottom of the 9th. Padres have work to do, trailing 5-1.
Sox lead by a score of 5-1. Friday on Behind the Bolt with Nick Hardwick, the crew previews the Chargers opener against the Kansas City Chiefs and looks ahead at the 2016 season. Behind the Bolt with Nick Hardwick returns Friday at 5:30 p.m. right here on Fox Sports San Diego.
We'll move along to the bottom of the 9th inning. It is going to be Hector Sanchez as Waldo Arcia Luis Sardinia is scheduled to bat in the inning. Second appearance, or second game in a row that we have seen an appearance from Joe Kelly. Going up to 98-99 here yesterday, and here he is again.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see the velocity of the right-hander. 1 inning, 2 strikeouts, 0s all the way across for Joe Kelly. Fastball, slider, curveball change. He's touched 101 this year.
It's over for a bot who went an inning, had a strikeout. And Sanchez takes strike 1. Buchholz, pitcher of record right now for the Red Sox. 6 2/3, 8 hits, the 1 run. The home run by Schimpf, didn't walk anybody, struck out 6. Red Sox shifting on the right side here against Kelly. Former St. Louis Cardinal Joe Kelly. Part of a deal that involved John Lackey going to the Cardinals for a while. Of course, Lackey now has made a home in Chicago with the Cubs. Deal also involved Alan Craig.
That's right.
Did not fare well in Boston, as it turned out, after a very good career with the Cardinals. Joe Kelly has stuck around both as a starter and reliever.
Such a live arm. Ball jumps out of this kid's hand.
Over the shift and into right field for Hector Sanchez. A base hit to begin the bottom of the 9th.
Well, the Padres are in slam range. Score of 5-1. That one's fought off down by the label. Even with the rover out there in shallow right field. And Hector Sanchez is aboard with the big league knock.
Lead runner on, that breaks up a string of 6 in a row retired by Red Sox pitching. And here's Oswaldo Arcia. In the dirt, gathered by Leon on a hop. Greg Kimbrell is up in case. The former Padre heating it up right now for the Red Sox. And for John Farrell. Inside, and did it get him? Apparently not.
Just woke him up a little bit. Underneath the elbow.
Carl Willis, the pitching coach, headed out here for the Red Sox. Joe Kelly falling behind here 2-0. Sanchez with a single to begin things here in the 9th. Arcia ahead here 2-0. Broken bat, grounder towards Pedroia. The second for 1 on to first for 2. Shift here, and it's Pedroia on to Bogarts on to first, so that is 4-6 to 3.
Let's see if he touched second base. Swing and a miss.
Whoa,
that's a big time miss. That shouldn't take long at all.
Bogarts does it.
Okay, here's what I want to do on this one. I'm going to time as soon as they get on. Let's see how long actually this one takes. Okay, they are on right now. Yep. If this takes more than a minute,
What are you going to do?
I'm going to jump out of this booth.
Really?
Yeah, probably make a lot of people happy.
Never knows. Just showed it on the big board here. Which time we get before you jump out of the booth?
35 seconds.
Oh, I think it could happen.
Oh, good.
No, maybe not. Safe at second base.
Took him 30 seconds.
Arce is retired at first base, but no out at second. Missed with the left foot and the right foot. Just kind of went over it.
You think he knew it?
Yeah, I think he did. Yeah. Now Luis Sardinez, who has 2 hits in the game. Single to center, single to right. In the dirt and blocked by Leon. Leadoff single by Sanchez. He's at second with 1 out. Padres won a challenge.
Well, 1 more base runner and it would become a safe situation. The tying run would then be on deck.
Inside out swing and a foul ball off to the left. Sardinez fouls off another, and Kelly showing off 98, 99 miles an hour.
How about that? You got Kimbrel, who can throw 100. You got Kelly, who can throw 100. You know, Ross from the left side was pretty darn good last night. He's firm. Nobody throws under 95, for the love of Pete.
Elevated, ball 2, 2-2. Let's say Amarista has come out on deck for the Padres. Good bat in the pitcher's spot. 1 out, runner at second base, bottom of the 9th inning. In the dirt, and Leon able to block it. Breaking ball that time from Joe Kelly. Full count now.
See Kelly, great shot of going from the first base side of that pitcher's plate. Get that angle on the inside corner to the lefties.
Fouled off to the left out of play, and Sardinez hanging tough here for the Padres. Swing and a miss, and Kelly ends up going back to the gas at 98 to strike out Sardinez. 2 down.
Ball well out of the zone. 2-seam fastball. He wanted to bury that one in, but can't catch up to the follow it off the 98-mile-an-hour fastball.
Well, Sardinez hung in there for a while, but retired. Alexei Amarista coming up. With 2 down here in the 9th inning. Ball 1. Red Sox pitching tonight with 8 strikeouts in the game. Make that 9 strikeouts in the game. Ryan Schimpf supplying the only Padres run of the night. A home run. His 17th, back in the 4th inning. 1-0. High strike call. Run around where that last pitch was, but called a strike this time. Hector Sanchez at second base here in the Padres' 9th inning with 2 down. In the air to left field. Chris Young back and under, and he'll put it away. Well, the Red Sox take game 2 of this 3-game series between the Padres and the Red Sox. And tonight, Boston wins it 5-1. Mike Pomerantz, what's in store tonight?
Well, we're going to take a look at the American League East, guys, as Boston finishes off the Padres. We'll check out what happened in Toronto and in Baltimore, and you'll hear from the manager, Andy Green.